What's going on, healers? How y'all doing today? It is Wednesday, hump day. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and put hashtag replay. If you're new, meaning you've never watched any of our lives before, go ahead and put new in the comments. And if you're watching this live, go ahead and put hashtag HeySK in the comments and go ahead and drop that clock because every day we are reclaiming our time. My name is Katia Green. That's my lovely wife, Stephanie Green. We make up HeySK. We are your transformational mentors, also known as the superheroes of self care. We help wounded healers activate their inner superhero, aka their inner child, so they can live a bold, fun, and free life. Because who don't want to do that, right? So today we're going to talk about where the self care industry went wrong, where the gurus went wrong in this industry. And our first one is Steph going to talk about it, and is they don't teach holistic self care, aka band aid therapy. In my opinion, this is where they go
Yes.
wrong.
Yes, they don't teach it holistically. Basically, they lead you to believe that as long as it relaxes you, it's good to go. They don't teach how it should be holistic, which means it should be beneficial for your mind, your body, your finances, which means, they think, okay, leave, leaves it open to interpretation. Like binge eating is a form of self care because it makes you feel good, but in the long run, it's absolutely detrimental to your health. Um, and so I feel like they only focus on the mental piece, like how it makes you feel peace, but they don't really focus on making sure that you eat regular intervals, whatever works best for you. Now, I'm not preaching on exactly what it should be because each body type, medical needs, and health needs are different, but just reminding you to make sure that you eat regularly or what according to how you're supposed to eat. Make sure we're moving our body. They don't really teach all that. You also forget to include like social self care and how you interact with others is also a form of self care. Socialization. People think that self care is just a bubble that you just go and relax in and nobody's around, you're solo. But no, self care can also be hanging out with your friends or being around other people. And it may not be self care for them, but it might be for you.
Yeah, and so number two is they don't give many resources. I feel like a lot of people in the industry, self care industry and self love industry, they don't give many resources. And what I mean is, a lot of times you get into these programs, or somebody might be teaching a class on self care. And the thing that, even in the mental health industry, that I find that you go through this whole program and it's working a little bit, but they don't give you the resources. It's called maintenance. And then, you know how addicts have relapses on drugs and addictions? People have emotional relapses as well. And it's like they don't give you what to do at 2 a.m. when your coach is sleeping and it's their family time, or they might be on a vacation. They don't give you resources that will help you in other areas of your life. And you just like, okay, you done my program, I got your money, boom, you're done. Congratulations. You may or may not get a certificate. I think that's very wrong. So over here with our organization and our brand, when you go through our coaching program, we will have resources, not just resources for self care, mental health. If you need help, because guess what? I feel like there are areas that people don't value that they need because of how they feel about themselves. That they be like, oh yeah, I need that because they're in a better space now. So we will have a list of resources and we will help you, you know, and not just leave you hanging. So that is where I feel like a lot of self care gurus go wrong. They don't provide long term resources for their clients. They just, hey, you took my class, you took my coaching program, you're done. I have nothing else for you, which is
Very
not okay. The next one is the gurus imply anything that feels good is self care. They don't have anything effective. They don't teach
Right.
it effectively.
They don't. They don't. They teach it. They don't teach it effectively. Like I said earlier, it makes it feel like anything that feels good is self care, even though it may absolutely be detrimental to your health, physically or your financial. A lot of people be like, "Oh, I'm sad," or "Oh, I went through a breakup," or whatever the situation is, and the first thing they're like, "Oh, let me go shop, retail therapy." Which, I mean, retail therapy can feel really good. Not denying that. It could definitely, take your mind away from whatever is bothering you. But the problem is a good chunk of people are not financially prepared for their habits in that regards. Oftentimes, if you start doing retail therapy and you're finding like, what can I not pay in order to afford this? Or you just swipe it and be like, oh dang, I don't have any money for my bills, or you're running up a credit card that you can't pay off, by the statement date. So then you're paying all that interest. That is when that's not self care. At that point, they may teach that, or there's left too much is left open to interpretation. Like I feel like when you teach or when you discuss self care, you really just have to lay out like the boundaries or the rules to self care. It's not just because it feels good, it's okay. Because I mean, doing drugs feels good. That doesn't make it self care. You know, being some people find being petty and manipulative that feels good. That's definitely not self care. Like, no, like you festering all that negativity. Like I said, the retail therapy, it feels good. But if you're not financially prepared and you can't literally afford what you're doing, then no, that's not self care. Um, if you're like, you know what, I'm so sad, I'm going to eat 10 pizzas, order 10 pizzas and eat them all, you know, food does feel good, but not in that quantity. Like at the end of that, like you're gonna feel so awful. Not emotionally, like, oh, I can't believe I ate all that stuff. Like physically, like most of us cannot eat that and then not feel bad, especially the older you get. Like that might work in your 20s. And once you start hitting the mid to upper 20s, um, and in your 30s, like you eat 10 pieces, you gonna feel it. I don't care how fit you are, like you're gonna feel it. Um, and that's just not a good way to be. And that's really bad for your health. To do that, especially if you do that regularly. It doesn't matter how much you work out, or not moving your body. You're like, like that's self care. Just even like a little lap around your neighborhood or your complex or whatever. Just moving your body or not moving it self care, even though it may feel good to sit there and binge watch TV all day. But sure, I mean, we've done that. We've stayed up, binge watch on a weekend, we relax, but it's not every day and it's not at the detriment of other parts of our life. Like if we got things to do, sitting there binge watching all day, all night, can't do it. Hey girl, if I gotta get up early, sitting up all night and binge watching when I gotta get up and go to work the next day, that is not self care. Like that's very detrimental. I'm neglecting my household chores consistently. Like I get it. Some days you just don't feel like it, but okay, day one, fine. If you need the break, take it. And it starts becoming day two, day three, and you're watching stuff pile up, and you're like, that's no longer self care. It's a detriment. No. Remember, self care should be beneficial to your mind, body, and your wallet. It can't hurt. It can't hurt. Yeah, it can't hurt. So if it hurts one of those three things, then it no longer counts as self care. He said, no, because you have to work harder to play catch up when you constantly put things off. Yes. Or if you indulge in retail therapy, you have to work harder to either pay off that card, or now you have to pay the interest, or now your bills are late, you're going to pay a late fee. Yes, absolutely. What you got, Contend? I'm sorry. I'm a little rambling today.
Um, the next thing that I notice in the self that go wrong in the self care industry is people teaching on this topic and they not living it themselves. And
Oh,
I feel like um, that's a detrimental to your clients because guess what? If you are an emotional eater as a coach and your client is in session with you and that's a struggle of theirs, you gonna be like, girl, we can go, let's go eat. Yeah, I do it too. Like, it's okay if you do it every now and then, but they're not doing it every now and then. Like, so I feel like what separates Stephanie and I from the gurus of self care in the industry is that we are actually working on us while we building our program, or we have worked on us. I've been to therapy. I've hurt. I've cried. I've got through. I've released a lot of it. Someone you want to share what someone told you today, Steph, if you don't mind, and did you share it in your stories, or what somebody told you
What?
about and your what you shared in your stories? The text somebody sent you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Somebody told Stephanie that they could see her growing through our content. That is what we want. Like you can't teach self-care if you're not living it. No, no way. You know what I'm saying? Like me, like being a time difference, some nights I do stay up late. Throughout the week a little bit. I have my night that I stay up late because we have a business session, but I also stay up to talk to my wife longer. Some nights we don't really talk that much because I have set boundaries and I get in the bed. So I'm here practicing getting in the bed earlier. You know,
Yep.
Due to my PTSD, I struggle with sleeping, staying asleep consistently. I go to sleep, I just struggle with staying asleep for a long period of time. But that is what I notice.
Hmm. I'm gonna share with you when you get back how I've been able to stay asleep most nights. When you get back, I'm gonna share with you. No, no, because I had to word that because I almost said I got something for you when you get back, and I was like, no, 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 that wasn't what I meant. Like I got something that I'm actively doing that I'm gonna share with you when you get back. Let's see if that helps you.
People be on Facebook like,
No, no. Um. Oh shit! I was about to say something. Damn it! What was I about to say? You
I
said what
don't
did you
know,
say right before
I was talking about like people teaching self care and not practicing it.
that? There was
And
something
I
you
was,
said that triggered.
uh,
I don't know, girl. I don't know. But yeah, I got something that'll like I'm gonna share with you that I'm
yeah.
this.
And I was just saying that my last thing I said that made you say that was I was saying that I set boundaries here, where I was staying up later, like consistently, just
Mhm.
to, I want to give my wife her time, and I want to keep us strong with the distance and time. Um, but I also understand that I was weighing my body down,
Yep.
and like I'm so confident and so excited to launch this coaching program. We've been working in the trenches for months and months with our coach. We got something great. We got a great program lined up, um, and I'm excited when launch day comes.
Hmm.
We coming, we getting close. But these are the things that we notice in the industry of self care. Um, Another thing, and I thought of a fifth thing. People don't teach. People don't build that connection between working on you and how it connects to the relationships that you build.
Oh yeah.
They don't teach like they do self care is they teach tunnel vision. We also teach you how to work on you and still be who you need to be for those around you without that guilt feeling. Because initially, if you're a mom, we always go back to moms because moms are the most guilty souls ever. Um,
Hmm.
if you're a mom and you've been giving all your time and all your energy to your kids, you going to games tired, you going to this tired, you there but you're not there. You're like, I'm here. You jumping and sleeping and you going to PTA meetings, dozing off. You going to award ceremony. Like we teach you how to work on you and show up in your most healed state. This is a process. This is not something overnight. Because it takes some time for people to even undo or even recognize and admit that you know what, I don't take care of me. People don't admit that. They're like, girl, I'm fine. They got that strong woman syndrome that we all taught, especially as black women. I mean, I'm not saying that other women weren't taught that, but I know in our community, black women are taught Be strong. You know, you got this. Suck it up, and take care of this person. Take care of that person. Blah 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 blah. No one ever taught us to take care of us. You know, and it was in my healing that I realized that a lot of failed relationships, friendships happen because the two individuals or one in the friendship or relationship never worked on them.
Mm-hmm.
You work on you, and I guarantee you, if you surround yourself with other people who are working on them, you're going to drastically see relationships changing because people are going to start releasing and letting go of things that kept them bound and that kept relationships friction. So that was my 15th and final thing that I felt like people they don't make connections for people when it comes to self-care and how to reintegrate themselves after the heal them shows up back into their circles.
Yeah, because sometimes you do during your healing stage, you do have to like kind of be a recluse, so you can just really focus and not have to worry. And sometimes you're just not in the capacity to deal with other people. But I do remember something I was gonna say. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it's the same thing, but it goes into literally the last 2 points. Something that I have noticed since you've been going to bed early is that you are in a much better mood. Now, for those who know Katia, she's generally a pretty happy-go-lucky person, anyways. And even when she's not happy or she's mad, even in me, I don't know about y'all, but if she gets mad at me, she's generally over it pretty quickly. Like she doesn't normally like hold on to stuff. But sometimes when you go consistently too long without sleep, your mood change, whether you realize it or not. Um, I even learned this in college. Like I averaged about 4 hours of sleep in college, and I could generally do that about 2 or 3 nights in a row. After the third night, everything got on my freaking nerves, which means I probably snapped at people or felt like snapping at people. I was short. I didn't have as much patience. So stuff like that. So I have noticed that since you have been like sleeping better, like your mood has been better. Like your response, I won't say your mood, but your responses, like you're better. So that's good. And those are things that people don't think about when you don't take time to take care of yourself properly. You may not even realize you're doing it. Like, and you're like, why is everybody being so mean to me? Like, what? Probably because your response was snippy first, but you didn't, you're so used to functioning in that fog, may not even realize it. So definitely self care is so important. Like we always say, it's the most selfless thing you can do to those around you for the people that have to deal with you. If you're not feeling, think about it when you're a toddler. Most of us have either worked with kids or been with kids. You have a small kid and they don't feel good and they're out and about. You have to run your errand or they have to go to school and they how do they act? A donkey. They tend to throw temper tantrums. They're short. It's the same thing with us. It just comes out a little bit more adultish, but it's the same thing, same concept. You know how miserable your kid is to deal with when they don't feel good and when they need to take a nap or they've out past nap time, and you have some kids don't do well with that. How miserable are they? They're whining, they're crying, every little thing bothers them, like more so than usual. Toddlers are funky in general, but you know what I mean. Like there's a difference between
Mm-hmm.
normal toddler behavior and your toddler is overtired behavior. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like your toddler in that moment is miserable to deal with, of course you still love them. Never saying you don't love them. That doesn't change. But in that moment, they are miserable and you're not enjoying your time with them. It's the same thing with you if you don't practice self care. That's how you are. You're that toddler to other people. That's all I got.
So these are some of the things that we came up with that the gurus miss out on in the self care industry. Um, we've been on this self care thing for a long time. We've always talked about self care, um, but we really found our niche. Um, we really found our niche. We really narrowed things down. We know who our target audience is.
Yeah, me too.
We understand that some of the current people on our timelines are not our target audience, and it's a beautiful thing to really narrow down and know who you need to talk to. It's a beautiful thing to know who is your audience. I know I'm less frustrated when it comes to like I'm not worrying about people supporting. I was like when It doesn't matter to me. I was like, when this all comes together and our coaching program is launched, we gonna hit our numbers that we need to hit because we know who we need to talk to, and they're gonna come to us running, needing our program, and we'll pay our price. It won't be no, oh, can I get a discount? They're gonna pay willingly, swipe the card ASAP. But it's a beautiful thing. We have a great program. I'm excited about our program. A lot of the stuff Stephanie and I do, yes, the topics are the same. Like you've heard the topics before, but how when we add our HSK stank to it, it's phenomenal.
I like that.
And I'm yeah, like it's phenomenal. Um, you get in, you're getting the cream of the crop when it comes to mental health and self care. We worked it, we live it every day. And not only do we live it individually, we know how to help you navigate through your marriages and your relationships because we do it every day. You know what I'm saying? Like my wife, mentioned something to me about me getting rest. You know what I'm saying? Some people would have, and not in a good space, would have felt like, oh, you calling me out. And no, she,
It's an observation.
it's a compliment. You know, it's all in how you take it in the space that you in when you receive it. You know, we do get cranky and irritable when we don't get sleep, but we both check each other because I will quickly tell her something like, "Babe, you're doing a little, you're doing the most right now," and she'll tell me the same thing.
Yep,
But
I mean,
now
good
that
night.
we
Good night.
now, but now that we are in a better space, it's received differently because your emotional, your emotional, your it's like your emotional holes, your receptive, your receptors, they're invisible. They're not blocked with trauma. They're not blocked with pain. They're not blocked with hurt. So where it would have stopped you and you felt hurt, now you are so free that when she says it with the correct tone, because she's also changed, so she's not going to be talking to you any kind of way, or he's not going to be talking to you any kind of way because you've changed. So these are some of the things that we've noticed in the industry of self care that that are not beneficial to people who go through these coaching programs. Like you're not just going through any old coaching program. We're not just going to take your money. You're literally about to work. So if you're not ready to work, if you're not ready to accountability, because we're going to be on you. If you're not ready to change and grow, then we're not for you. Our program is not for you at this time. Not saying that you won't be open to it, but we like to communicate who we're looking for. And we're looking for wounded healers who, and what a wounded healer is someone who has poured their whole soul into making other people progress and heal in their lives, but they're not doing the same for themselves. Which the healing part and the helping of others is great, but you need to work on you so you can serve the people that you're designed to serve in a healthier space. That's all. Being a wounded healer is not a bad thing. I was definitely a wounded healer. That's why I can relate. I love helping people. I love seeing people smile. I would give people the shirt off my back. But now that I am a healed healer, I set boundaries. If I ain't got it, you ain't getting it. I'm not no
Even if
longer
you got
stretching
it,
my
depending on who you are,
yeah.
you still
You're
ain't
not
getting
getting it. Right.
it.
And I'm not stretching my wallet. I'm not stretching my time. I'm not stretching my brain. You're not coming in my inbox all any old times. I'm cutting people off. You know what I'm saying? Like that's setting boundaries. So I am now in the healing space where I can still serve. We're serving. Our coaching program is a service, but we can now serve our clients. We know who she is and who they are. You
Right.
know,
That is very true. Oh, well, to an extent. Because people ding us a lot when we speak about children and children behaviors of children. Oh, that is right. We speak of children and the behaviors of children, because we don't have children, failing to acknowledge or remember or care that we have education in children. But not only do we have education in children, in people, teaching, education, developmental, etc. But we also applied that and have real life experience working with the kids that are results of people not doing things that we say or that we say. Not saying that you have to do it by the book, but generally speaking, we remind people to check in with their kids, to make sure that they're emotionally okay. What that looks like, because a lot of times people, especially us, tend to be like, okay, my kid, I have a roof, they have clothes, they have food, not acknowledging that maybe they may have had a rough day. I just use that as an example. They'd be like, you don't have kids, you don't know. I we work with the results of people not doing certain things. Like, obviously with parenting, it's not a one size fit all, but there are certain things that need to happen in order to produce healthy individuals, mentally, emotionally, and a lot of us are missing some things. There's no household is perfect. Some households are
And,
missing more than others, which is what keeps us employed.
yep. And I know I can say, and I will stand on it. I will put my paycheck on it that when you're dealing with us, you're dealing with damn good coach mentors.
Yeah.
We know our stuff.
Yep.
We know our stuff. We
You
don't
spend
we
our
don't just
time in
have
the
the
field.
professional experience. We also have the personal experience. We have both P's, personal and professional.
And people also forget
Um,
we were kids. Just like you may
yeah,
not remember your childhood, I remember key things about my childhood, and I know that there are certain things that if my parents had done differently, I'd be a different person. Some for the good, some for the not good. Like some, I'd be in much better position. You forget that we were all kids once.
and I know that I'm damn good at what I do, and
Oh
my
yeah.
wife is too, because we have stepped in homes with people with teenagers, and their teenagers drew to us and stepped us outside to talk to us stuff they didn't even share with their parents, and I mean deep stuff. So, not even knowing these kids, what, a week or two, but we just had that aura. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Hmm.
I'm excited. So I'll go over the things that we felt that some people in the self care industry miss. Number one, they don't teach holistic self care. They teach band aid therapy. Um, and that's just, hey, go take a massage. Take time for you. You can take time for you all you want and get that massage. You're gonna feel good in that moment, but you go back to the problem because you haven't dealt on the inside. Number two, they don't give many resources. A lot of times you go to these coaching programs, and a lot of times you go through these coaching programs, they don't give you the resources to help you after. Um, they don't give you the resources to help you after you're done with the program. With us, you will get resources throughout our coaching program, but also things that you can help you after you're done. Because guess what? Pain and emotional relapse don't happen only during the daytime. They happen at night. They happen at 2 a.m. They happen anytime. So we want to provide you with resources, and we're going to try to work on catering and tailoring the resources directly to your needs. This is not a one size fit all program. It will be catered to your needs. Um, Number three is the gurus imply that anything that feels good is self care. They don't effectively teach proper self care. They be like, oh, what if eating, eating make you feel good? Eat that ice cream, girl. Eat that, overeat that chocolate. Go spend money on therapy, and we get excited about spending money we don't have because it makes you feel good. Everything that makes you feel good is not self care. Number four, teaching on a topic they don't practice. We notice that a lot of the gurus in the self care industry, they don't practice what they preach. They over there stressing out. They stretching themselves thin. They even stretching themselves thin by coaching you, and they ain't setting boundaries in time. They let you call them any time of night as a coach. They haven't set boundaries. You like, I thought you told me to set boundaries. It's like my kids in my program, they check me all the time but I practice what I preach, and I let them check me. And the final thing that I see they don't do, they don't tie self care and teach you how to integrate back into the relationships that you have had to kind of separate from to work on you. Um, and showing you how self care ties into relationships, and it does because when I recognized that I needed help and I worked on me, it helped my marriage. So we're gonna teach you the holistic approach to self care, like healing from the inside, so that those that you love on the outside won't be affected by your trauma. So definitely, like I said, the people that we're looking for is someone who ready to work, put in the work, and ready to have accountability, truly ready to change. So we'll be launching soon. We're excited about our launch. We still got some few things that we need to close the loop on. We literally been working on this behind the scenes for about 8 months now. So, you got anything else, Steph?
Mm-mm.
She said, saying no to yourself sometimes is self care.
Oh,
Absolutely, that's
yeah.
a good one. People think you have to have kids to know what they need. Not true. I've seen some people who have compassion and love to share to others. Yep, for sure. I don't have kids, and every kid I've come in contact with loves me, and I take care of them. And yeah, some people who just because you birth them don't mean you're grateful for them.
Girl.
Yep, ice cream is my weakness. For some people, it is. But we gonna help you. We would like so. If you was our client, we would we would insert something. We would find out how often you eat it, and determine and put some other things in place so that you can get that same. It's a feeling. Everything we do is about feelings. So we need to find something healthy to tie to what. How do you feel when you eat ice cream so that we can find something healthier to tie you to that. That is what we would do. Y'all are absolutely amazing. I learned so much from the live videos, so I know your coach. Oh yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited.
I'm excited. So we're excited to grow. We're excited to help some wounded healers transition into healed healers and continue their work that they're doing. Um, it's a lot coming down the pipe.
Can y'all do why you feel your both parents are beneficial to a child's growth? I we can. I also I'm gonna be play devil's advocate because sometimes both parents are not beneficial to a child's growth. But we can definitely talk about that.
And
We
we
can
can
definitely
break
tackle
in
that.
self care. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Let
we
me
can.
write that down.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. But girl, we
Mm.
our jobs, our former employment is proof that some people's parents need to not. Um, but yeah, oh, go for it. Also, we're still doing our
You
super healer of the week on Saturdays.
and also
Um,
this topic, so you can email
yes.
us there too
And if you have any
about this.
topics that you want us to tackle, address, you can do submissions, to people that you see rocking the thing. You want to acknowledge them, shout them out, and just remind them how awesome they are. But then also, if you also, I mean, besides you, anybody else, just if you're watching on YouTube, definitely feel free to email us any submissions for the super healer or anything that you want us to tackle topic wise.
And
Thank
that
you
would
for
be a
being on here.
superhero letter at gmail.com.
Yes, thank you for reminding us.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's all we got. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for those who are live and engaging. Thank you for the people who are going to watch the replay and add to the love of our lives. We appreciate y'all so much. We thank y'all for your support. You can always make more money, but you can't get your time back. So we thank you for spending your time here with us today. Um, Remember, guys, you are the designer of your destiny. You control your future. Do something daily to get you closer to your goals. This your girl, KG. I'm the K from SK. That's my lovely wife, Stephanie. She's the S from SK. We make up Hey SK. We are your transformational mentors, also known as the superheroes of self care. We help wounded healers activate their inner superhero, aka their inner child, so they can live a bold, fun, and free life. Y'all have an amazing day on purpose.
bye.